What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here for my first real VOD review of Set 13. So I'm sure most of you guys have played Set 13 by now. It's on PvE. Just came up. I know it was down for maintenance today, so, if you were like waiting for it to come back up, it is up right now as this video is live. So get in there, jam some more PvE games. I've played a few games, haven't had a chance to stream yet, just because I'm usually busy on Mondays and Tuesdays. But definitely going to jam a lot of games this week. Going to stream a lot, and yeah, just can't wait to play around with all these units, all these traits. Today we're gonna do a video on a really crazy trait, probably the craziest trait of this set that allows for some wild stuff to happen. So yeah, I'm just hyped to watch. This is obviously Dishsoap. We are watching him because he's one of the best players in our region. We could honestly, maybe I should, we VOD review Dishsoap a lot. Maybe I should do one for every Dishsoap VOD review. I need to do a YBY1 VOD review because I am now like the #1 YBY1 Blazer. I gotta be, after how good he's been for so long. So start the game off, and Dishsoap sees this augment, Brutal Revenge. This is Renni's hero augment. Renni gets 35 plus mana to cast, and her ability causes her to lunge towards the farthest enemy within 2 hexes, dealing 125% damage to the target and reduced damage to enemies in her path. This augment is just crazy. It's also bugged, right? They just fixed it, but this is a VOD from yesterday. It is bugged to give 2 Rennies. This is obviously, a 3-cost hero augment should not give 2 at the start of the game. It should only give 1 at the start of the game. It should, sometimes just not even be offerable at 2-1, depending on, I think Spin to Win wasn't offerable 2-1, but we get to see a crazy version of this augment here, where Dishsoap gets 2 at the start here. So Renni is a pretty interesting unit. She does this really cool ult with her chainsaw where she like picks up the unit, but now she also gets this kind of like dash as part of it. Yeah, she's pretty insane. And I will, for anyone who hasn't seen Arcane yet, no spoilers, but she was pretty sick in Arcane. I finally watched Arcane yesterday, and Arcane being back, I don't know, all seems right with the world. I can't wait to see the rest of Arcane, see the rest of what they're potentially going to do this set with, potentially, they said, some units, or maybe they're going to like add units to the set. Some people are speculating they're to change units out. But yeah, you see that huge ult from Renni. That's what she's doing. She's just machine chainsawing that unit. And yeah, it's insane. It's not actually, obviously, this hero augment is really cool, and it turns Renni into a beast. But we pick up Singed here, who is a Chem-Baron, and that's really what I want to focus on this VOD. We don't have it in yet, but Chem-Baron is a really interesting new trait. So the idea behind Chem-Baron is it's kind of similar. It is certainly like a lost streak trait. I guess you can almost think of it like something like Underground, where, as you lose, you gain stacks, and then you can kind of just cash out. It's not like Fortune where you have to win to cash out, but it's also not like Underground where you have, like a specific number of rounds. It's really just when you get to a specific amount of stacks, you can decide to cash out versus not cash out. You can do the kind of like raise the stakes thing, or you can decide to just cash out. And the really interesting thing about this this trait is that, for so long, when they've had traits like this that are these big cash out traits, they've kind of been like, well, we can't really. Also, this is a nice little 4 scrap that Dishsoap's getting in here. Still playing around the early game of just the Trundle, and now we're just gonna move the BT over to Renni now that we have it. But for so long, when they've done these cash out traits, they've kind of been like, well, we can't. We run into this issue. It was a huge issue with Fortune. It was a decently large issue with Underground. It's just a big issue with any kind of these cash out trait, where the optimal way to play it is to play 3 Fortune early, play really hard loss streak, and then get to stage 4. For Fortune you have to win to cash out. For Underground, just cash out whenever. Here we are. Oh, he's actually not going to get the Chem-Baron in yet. He's just trying to continue his win streak here. But yeah, you have this really weak board, and then you cash out and you say, okay, time to full pivot, because I've played these units. I don't want to play 3 Fortune in the late game because I don't care about cashing out later. At that point, I've gotten enough of a benefit that I can use this to just win the game. So you just full pivot into some kind of strong level 8 board, and then you go to win the game from there. It's an interesting play pattern, and it is certainly kind of like fun to do. But here we can pause when we hover over Chem-Baron. The interesting thing about Chem-Baron is the cash out isn't actually usually like a lot of econ. It's usually not a lot of like items, or at least it's not traditional items. A lot of it are these black market items, these items that only Chem-Barons can use. Also, for every black market that you pass on, every kind of raise the stakes, you get more HP for all of your Chem-Barons. And as you go up, you get more of that HP onto all of your Chem-Barons. So it's actually like a lost streak trait that incentivizes you to keep the units in after you've cashed out. And you can drop down a bit if you want. You can to keep the items, you would just have to drop down to like 3 Chem-Baron, whereas you could play like the higher versions of Chem-Baron to get more stacks and to get the cash out, like this huge cash out faster. But it's an interesting idea. I kind of love it, where like it disincentivizes you from doing that kind of like generic kind of. I mean, it's fun. It's certainly fun to go for like the crazy big cash outs, but it made it very hard for these things to be balanced. You could think about, Fortune was hard to balance. Heartsteel was hard to balance. Even Fortune Favors the Bold, the augment from last set, was incredibly hard to balance. It was so broken early on in the set, and they basically had to make it unplayable for competitive, because these strategies absolutely dominate competitive because people know how to optimize the heck out of them. Dishsoap also gets a cool new augment here called Trifecta. Combat start, 3 random 3-cost champions gain 250 HP and 18% attack speed. Pretty cool. I mean, it has trait menaces, which would be cool. That these little like combination, if you guys haven't seen them, these combination hero augments look so sick, where you basically like, it encourages you to put 2 units on the board that actually don't share a trait, which is so sick actually. But you can see here we're stacking up Chem-Baron here. Dishsoap's actually win streaking to stack Chem-Baron, so you get a certain amount of stacks just regardless every single round when you're playing Chem-Baron, so you can actually play it as like a little bit of a win streak trait, as we got it here. But you get more stacks if you are on a loss streak. You have to be on a 3 loss streak, I think, to get those like big amount of stacks. But yeah, you can, we're slowly stacking up Chem-Baron. You can see here with that version. Dishsoap's actually gonna end up, we'll see. He might, yeah. I think you do have to keep Chem-Baron in, because the Chem-Baron items, I can't wait to see what Dishsoap gets this game, because there are some crazy Chem-Baron items out there, and he has a lot of HP to work with. The only thing is, I don't know if Chem-Baron, the stacks scale with stage. Something like Heartsteel, you got a lot more stacks for like losing on stage 3 versus stage 2. I don't think that's the case for Chem-Baron. I think it's always, 15 or 30. I guess we'll see. We can see on next stage if he hovers over it, like 20 or 60, 30 or 80. We'll see if it changes, but yeah. Also, we built just, solid items onto our Renni here. She is, well, it's kind of interesting. I don't know how well she actually procs Titans, because she's not really an auto attack type carry. She isn't doing like auto. She's really just autoing until she gets to her cast, and then doing this really long channel. Bishop was talking earlier about how he doesn't think Quicksilver is like a really good item on her, because she's not reliant on the auto attack at all. She's really just going for the big cast, though. I don't know if I want to see, does her cast actually stack this 5? No, it doesn't. So yeah, I mean, Titans seems perfectly serviceable on her. Doesn't seem like amazing, but it doesn't really like stack Titans that well. She's not a unit that's going to be like stacking insanely quickly, but you can see that with this hero augment, she is just a monster here. We got the Renni 2 online relatively quickly, and she is just farming boards. Easy 100 streak for Dishsoap. And I mean, you'll love to see it. The unit is just so cool to watch. But yeah, I mean, I also just kind of like the theming of Chem-Baron, especially after watching Arcane, just like seeing all of these like bad guys, like working together in this trait. It's kind of sick, actually. It's pretty cool. And it's also, to be noted, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trait. So the second you find a Chem-Baron, you can put that in to increase the number of stacks that you're getting. It's not one of those traits where it's got these like, important thresholds, not like Fortune where it's like 3, 5. You get extra for, every Chem-Baron that you put on the board. So quite important, actually, if we end up picking up something like a Savika, which is such a cool unit as well. We'll see what Dishsoap ends up playing this game, but there's so many cool units in the set. I'm still getting used to, I'm sure you guys as well are getting used to, oh, there is a Savika on level 7. I mean, you can't be mad about that. Thank you, Mr. Mortog. Just looking for, yep, okay, there is a Silco, 6 Chem-Barons in here. That is a lot of stacks every single round. We do have all these rods, but I mean, we have a Silco, we can throw them on there, and yeah, he's just gonna make the death cap on the Silco. I think this makes a lot of sense. So we're 85 stacks here. I didn't see if Dishsoap hovered it, the Chem-Baron here, but yeah, I think Dishsoap makes this call in the middle of this game, which I absolutely love. And he says, okay, you know what? I'm 100 streaking here. My biggest, oh, and there's some cool new augments here, actually. Pair of fours. If your team has exactly 2 4-cost champions, they each gain 404 HP and 24.4 attack speed. Seems kind of insane if you're playing, like, imagine this in, like, vertical shapeshifters, like Varus plus Nasa's, like, shapeshifters last set. Doesn't that sound disgusting? 25, almost 25% attack speed and 400 HP for both of them. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Spear's Will is another cool one. Your team gains 10 AD and 15 mana, and you get a BF sword, and then a golden find. Champions evolved by the Anomaly drop 2 gold every 2 kills, gain 10 free rerolls. So it's a lot of gold. The only thing that I think is a little bit weird with this is that, like, you have to wait until 4-6 to actually really, like, get your augment, and until then it's just 10 free rerolls. Seems kind of sus, but I mean, I guess a gold per kill. I don't know. I don't really like that one. There are stats, by the way. There are PvE stats on LoL chess, and Meta TFT has, like, other stuff as well. But yeah, he basically rolls down, finds this really cool augment, Sated Spellweaver and Overheal. So Sated Spellweaver, after casting ability, champions gain 25 or 20% on event for 3 seconds. Excess healing is converted into a shield, which seems so good onto this this Renni here. Overheal is like for an auto attack carry, you know, helps you do more damage. But you can see here, this is our potential cash out here. There's a little bit of gold to be gained, right? A singed and a Renata glass, but really most of the value is in this salvaged revolver here, which is like, this is like the tier 1 of the item. The way that this works is there's a tier 1, there's a tier 2, and there's a tier 3 of the item. So Salvage Revolver, this is a tier 1. 15 mana, 20 AP, gain 10 AP every 5 seconds. Seems like a little bit worse than a completed item. I would say not that much worse, but yeah, like a completed item, like minus a bit. And the 2 version, I guess we'll see, we can analyze it, but from what I've seen, the 2 versions are like a little bit better than completed items, and then the 3 versions are disgusting. The perfected versions, those are honestly, a lot of them are better than Radiant items. I'm sure there will be like a tier list that comes out of like, oh, these are the ones that you want. This is the most broken one. But yeah, and you can see Dishsoap hovered here. We do, yeah, this is actually good to confirm as well. So it's still 15 or 30, 20 or 40, 20 or 60. So yeah, this does not scale up with stage at all, but you can see now that we have 6 in, we get to that 80 if the loss streak is at least 3. So you have to lose 3 fights to actually get that. And then as you continue your loss streak, you stay. It's not like, it doesn't care if you're on a 3 loss streak or a 7 loss streak, but obviously each loss after 3 is a loss that is at 3. But Dishsoap actually makes the call here to remove the Renni to continue that loss streak, right? He really wants to make sure that he is going to lose these fights. Also, I think I was going to ask about it, and then I maybe interrupted myself, but how used to the new benches are you guys? Like, I think it's such a good change, by the way, this new bench change. Oh yeah, he ends up winning this fight. Yeah, Dishsoap kind of over slams here, which is so rough for him, because the more you win, you know, that interrupts his loss streak. It doesn't cash him out. It's not like Fortune or something like that, where winning this is going to guarantee cash him out, but it does break the loss streak, and that's really important to get to that 3 loss. The upside is that, you know, we're only 3 away from getting another loss streak, so it's not the end of the world, but, and we have 90 HP. So yeah, not the end of the world, but a little bit sad here. And yeah, I mean, we're just gonna sit on this board. Eventually we can roll for Renni 3, but he really doesn't want to roll that much in this spot, because he knows, like, I don't want to win these fights. He really would have preferred to not lose that last fight. That's why he's holding just this BT on his bench here. But yeah, on the item bench, it's such a good change. It makes scouting so much easier. Like, would you guys ever like scout somebody and look on their item bench, and like one of their items would be like hiding under another item? It would make it so hard to see. Or, you know, you would have the same thing happen where one of your items is hiding under another item, or you would just have the situation where items are like flying around. All right, let's look at anomalies here. Gain 50% AD. The next attack after casting gains 35% crit chance. It deals 100 damage. It doesn't seem bad. Max mana reduced 10%. A bit every time it casts. 30 mana each kill. Oh yeah, so this is an interesting one. The champion disappears for 2 rounds. When they return, they gain 50 AP and 50 AD. So a pretty solid, just straight up like item onto. I actually want to compare this to something like a Death Blade, just because I think that's kind of like helpful to think about it. Look, you can see another. What is a shimmer duplicator? I didn't know that was a thing. But I guess yeah, it makes sense that you can duplicate. Wait, I assume a shimmer duplicator is something that you can. Wait, did he hover over it actually? Because it's called shimmer duplicator. I imagine you can just use sit to duplicate one of these units. Use on a 3-cost or lower Chem-Baron to create a 1-star. Yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. So Deathblade gives 50 and 8% damage. Yeah. So this is a little bit worse than a Death Blade and like a Death Cap. Death Cap gives 50 as well and 15% damage amp. So yeah, it's like basically Death Blade plus Death Cap, a little bit worse. So you're kind of getting almost 2 extra items onto your carry with this augment. The downside is that, or with this anomaly, the downside is obviously that the unit drops off your board for 2 rounds, but Dishsoap actually doesn't mind this at all. He wants to continue to lose these fights, so it's actually perfectly fine for him to just sack a couple here, do up to 235 stacks, 1 more loss, and we're gonna get to that magic number of 3 loss, which is really, really, really important. And yeah, we're just gonna wait and see how this goes. Also looking for potentially the 3-star Smeech, which, you know, could be, man, I honestly, the Smeech unit is like so gross. Like when I saw him, I was like, oh my god, like I just hate him. But honestly, after watching Arcane, getting back into it, I kind of like him. I don't know, he's kind of cool actually, in like a terrible weird way. It's interesting that this charm counts. He only had to play down a carry for 1 round, right? It counted the minion round. I don't know if that's intended or not. I imagine that it's not. But I mean, hey, good for Dishsoap here in this spot. But I have to imagine they don't want you to just. I assume 2 rounds is meant to mean 2 rounds, but maybe it's not. Maybe they really. It's just meant to be down a unit for 1 round. That seems like very not that big of a deal. All right, so up to 300 stacks here. This is a decent number, and we finally got our 3 losses. Wait, that's so cool. Look at the little loss streak indicator down there. And there's a lot of cool stuff here. But Dishsoap says, you know what, I'm going to save Shimmer. And he's going to continue the loss streak, which I love. It's absolute cinema. It's perfect. It's great content. So I love that he goes for this here, because I mean, the bigger the cash out, the more exciting the game for sure. Getting to 400 would be really nice. We're fighting a, it looks like automata reroll with the Kog'Maw, and then also a random Twitch in there for a sniper. It looks pretty. I mean, this Cog unit looks really, really cool. This Cog unit is an interesting unit. He kind of has like a built-in Gwinsu's Rage Blade, where when you cast, he gains attack speed, and he also gains range. So it's I'm not actually 100% sure what the BIS on this unit is going to be, and like, you know, we will see once stats come out. There are some, like I said, some PBE stats, but I mean, you can kind of look at generic stats for itemization and stuff, but I do think once we get to live, we'll have a lot better stats on what's actually like really, really good on what units. But hey, we got the 4 loss streak here. Dishsoap wants to make sure that he doesn't take a really bad loss here, so he is going to slam the BT. This board that he's fighting though, I mean, look at what this Savika does, man. She's an absolute monster. She's just shredding everybody with the chainsaw. Like, this fight was actually not even close after the BT got slammed, and Dishsoap sadly ends up winning this fight for his own loss streak here. The upside now is that he's at 425 stacks. So he just needs to win a couple of fights. Even 1 fight is really the big win for him here, because he's going to get 30 every single round. So he just needs to survive 3 rounds. So winning 1 fight almost guarantees that he's going to survive 3 rounds. Another chance to cash out here. So here we can see some of these like level 2 items. So let's look at these. So we get like a random Chem Blade here, but I want to hover over these. So Piltover Hex Armor, 175 HP, 40 armor, 40 MR, 5 armor and MR when taking damage, stacking him to 15 times. So that's 60. So it gets up to 175, 100, 100. And then at max stacks, you deal 75% magic damage to enemies in 1 hex radius after being attacked. Yeah, I mean, these are like radiant items minus, I would say. These aren't quite on the radiant level. Compare this to something like a radiant gargoyle. This is giving you, I think I said 100 armor and MR, where like radiant gargoyle, oh, it's Dwarvala stone plate. Plate. Why can't I even see radiant items? Man, no. I think it just by default. Is it not called? Oh, it's Varvala? What the heck? So that gives 50 armor, 50 MR, and then 15 armor for each enemy targeting the holder, and heals max HP each second. So yeah, certainly this item's like a little bit worse than that, like a decent bit worse. I would say like if a regular item is like a 2, and like if you think of a regular item as like 2 components, and then you call a radiant item like 5 components, these are probably like 3.5 components worth. Does that make any sense? Not really, but I mean, it's just numbers. They're just throwing numbers out there. And then these items, the perfected Chem-Baron items, which you really need to lose streak to get there, honestly, because we didn't get a single perfected item there. It didn't look like, even at 400 stacks, you got to get to like the 500s to get perfected, or maybe we got 3 items there, but maybe there's a cash out that gives you like 1 perfected item. I don't know. But okay, we're gonna lose this fight down to 20 HP, which is really, really not bad at all. 485 stacks. So after 1 round, we are guaranteed. Dishsoap also doing the thing that a lot of really, really good players will do, where they say, you know what? I can actually tech out of some of the worse Chem-Baron units because I only need 15 here. The thing that's funny about Chem-Baron though is that it gives all this HP. So playing, vertical Chem-Baron is actually not bad from the perspective of just like guaranteeing that you get a little bit of AP. Also, he's going to throw in Experiment here, which is another really cool trait where the units on the hexes, like Nunu has a unique bonus, Mundo has a unique bonus, and then you put them on the hexes and they both get each other's unique bonuses and their own, of course. It's pretty sick. But okay, this is the last fight before the cash out. Just have to make sure that we don't take 20 here, which would be pretty difficult stage 6. But, if we killed like nothing, it would happen. But as long as we don't take a horrifying loss here, we will be okay. And yup, down to 5 HP. So let's look and see what the cash out is. Oh my god. So we got a perfected Flesh Ripper, destabilized Chem Tank 2, and a Shimmer Bloom 2. I'm down. Yeah, I mean, he's just going to take these here, but I really, really want to see. I love, by the way, that they added this. They have recommended users on all of these to make things easier. So Shimmer Bloom 2, this is once again, I said it's like better than a completed item, a little bit worse than a radiant item. Increase healing and shielding by 35% every 8 seconds, gain 525 shield for 10 seconds, and the same shield with 2 lowest health allies. Holy crap. I mean, that sounds insane. This is almost like, it's like much better than like a support item, honestly, when you think about something like a Moonstone Renewer. Destabilized Chem Tank. At 50% HP, gain a 35 max HP shield. Every 8 seconds afterwards, gain a 10% max HP shield. Wow, so decently sized shields. And then I really want to see this last one. Can we hover that one, Mr. Dishsoap? Oh, okay, there it is. Perfected Flesh Ripper. 4580, 60% crit chance. After dropping below 40% HP, briefly become untargetable, so it's like Edge of Night. Restore 100% max HP, gain 60% AD, and 25% Omnivamp. And then perfected bonus upon dying for the first time, revive with 100% max HP. Holy! So not only do you get this Edge of Night effect that heals you to full. Oh! Why can't he remove it? Wait, what the fuck was that? Okay, he has to throw these items on the Savika for now, but I'm sure he wants to move them. Oh, Mortal, dude! Imagine if Dishsoap like lost this fight here, he would be so pissed. But his board is so strong now that I think it's fine. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he puts the items, and I really want to see that perfected item onto Renni here. I mean, this seems, they all seem like honestly really good. Like you could see him putting this and then potentially another item, but no, he's just gonna go for the Titans as well here with the idea that yeah, he just wants to get this Giga stacked Renni. I wonder if she loses the Titan stacks on death, and then the other items are just going to go into the Savika here. Nice to have Savika in the tree where you can kind of just throw excess items onto her. All right. I mean, oh my god, she heals to full with the Edge of Night effect. She's doing so much work with the ult. Oh my god, they didn't even actually kill her, right? Because she's going to revive on kill. I don't know that we're going to see this unit actually die this game. It seems unlikely here. We can pick up the Hodge here for the Savika. I mean, once we got to that cash out, you guys knew that it was a dub, but it's so fun to watch actually. These items, and there's a lot of them. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how many exactly there are, but there's a lot. So I'm excited to see all of them. I know Hodge is actually going to go over onto the Smeech here, and then the BT is going to get moved over. I like it. But yeah, fighting a pretty strong board here. Jinx 2, Mordekaiser 2, a lot of scary stuff on this board, but do they ever have the damage to get through Renni? I mean, I feel like the answer is unequivocally no. And so yeah, I don't know how much HP they had that fight, but they took like a 7-unit loss or something there. It's too insane. And then and we got one more fight. I mean, they hit Savika too there. They are playing fast 9, hit all the 5 costs. I mean, they can be very happy with a second, but I mean, this board is too gross here. They just, the board, the lobby should not have let Dishsoap live this long, and that's just how it is when you have a cash out trait like this. I can't wait to play her on this trait. I actually played a game with Kai, who, like, you know a trait's broken when Kai can win a game with it, where Kai just dominated the lobby with Chem-Baron. So it was an absolute blast. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, go play the set, enjoy it. It's on PvE. I've been having a blast. I'll be streaming. I might be streaming late tonight. I don't know. I'll definitely be streaming long hours tomorrow and the next day, and probably the next day as well, I think. Yeah, so we'll be getting lots of hours in on, but yeah, it's a blast. Go enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.